Let's do it.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the HCW YouTube channel and welcome back live to Twitch because we do it on Twitch every time now. We are here for the Annual RateWrestle Awards for 23-24. But before we kick out into that, how are we doing, DP?
Yeah, hello. Not too bad, not too bad. Happy to be here once again for another annual rate awards, or whatever we're calling it. And as always, I am the one who's here, and let's get into things. How you doing?
You're awful. I'm just gonna shut up. As usual, I am the one that is here. Yeah, I'm doing well, DP. Good God. So yeah, this is not to be construed with the overall Rate Wrestle Awards at the start of the year. That's just like literally my ratings for ever since I've been doing it. These ones run between May 23 and April 24. We are doing Company of the Year this week. I've pretty much worked out all of the awards, though I can pretty much do them week by week. But I'm going to give 2 week gaps because it's a bit too much. So Company of the Year, I must have at least seen 20 matches, and this is only pay-per-view / event. So obviously, because WEAW, if we went via that, it'd be like 500 matches due to live shows and crap like that. And they'd probably both be bottom because it'll be very hard to average out a very good score if I'm watching like flipping Maxine Dupree's matches every week. That was a random shot. I do apologise. To be fair, she's got better. Do you have any inkling of who may have won this year, DB?
I've
Who
been
who
inclined to
would be
go
yours?
somewhere.
Yeah, that'll be a good question.
I've been inclined to go somewhere towards maybe one of your locals,
Ooh,
Kamikaze, BCCW, them lot.
them
Um,
lot.
going more streamlined, like more mainstream. Probably going to be something like maybe Stardom, because they are bangers every time. So
Okay, to give you an inkling, the last 4 years. So, first ever year was AEW. Second year was Stardom. Third year was AEW, and then last year, if you remember, it was Ring of Honor, which is technically AEW. So we will go for only 13 companies qualified for it. Because I watch a lot and there's a lot of mixtures. So people like Ruthless Pro didn't know they did qualify Ruthless Pro. People like TTW didn't qualify. AAW because I only saw one event. Bridge I only saw 2 events. I didn't have 20 matches. Who else is there randomly out there? TNT I only went to one event. Stuff like that. So at least 20 matches. So people like Bridge has only had 2 shows, so it's very difficult unless they had 10 matches a show, which would have been awful. So I'm
yeah,
glad they didn't do that. But number 13, we've got Rise.
okay,
Rise, for everyone that's watching, that when it is a UK-based, Leeds-based, I would say. They're more known for their deathmatch wrestling, but they do have a bit of like comedy called Reddit wrestling in between. Saw 53 Rise matches. Average rating of 2.52. So just above average. They did. This is their highest ranking since first year. I've watched them properly, and yeah, they didn't qualify last year, judging by that as well. So Rise is very good deathmatch wise, but they have some like real random comedy elements that are very short, which tank the ratings. For me
yeah,
because for example if I go for last year the lower kind of end of stuff we've got here is let's have a look. The where is it? It was no ring. I can't find it at the moment. Rise or Die. So we had like a load of 2.5 star ones. We had Danny O'Doherty versus Brett Semtex, which was 1.5. Gene Money and Kid Like Us versus Miles Kamen and Miles' dad, which was like a 2 star rating. It's more about the comedy element that were funny, but they weren't really for me.
yeah.
Um, Top rated matches though, in number 3 for them, Lou Nixon versus B.A. Rose at GOD, 3 3/4. Big Joe versus B.A. Rose versus Lou Nixon versus Michael Caden, which was 3 3/4. And then Big fucking Joe versus Michael Caden at GOD, which are rated 4 stars. Very,
No,
very good event. Have you watched much Rise?
probably none to be honest with you.
You've got my OWTV. Watch Rise. What's your excuse?
I mean, I plan to. It's just I got so many things I watch. So
So you're saying it's not worth it. Fair enough. At number 12, we've got ICW No Holds Barred. You'll see a lot of deathmatch elements in these shows. So I've saw 70 matches of them this year and a 2.6 rating. Highest ranking of 8th, and they finished last year at 8th. So for anyone that's not watched ICW, pretty much the same kind of gist as Rise, but they have more of like the metal chains for ring ropes, and their matches are probably about 90% to 100% death matches. There's no real kind of like random commie elements in the middle.
yeah.
Top matches for them this year were Clint Argiera versus Atlas Kogar at Volume 59, which are rated 3 3/4.
Nice.
Hoodfoot versus Killdozer, which was 4 stars. And Danny Demanto versus Atticus Kogar, which was also 4 stars at Volume 56.
Fair enough.
You caught any ICW this year?
Similar vote. No.
Glad everyone do, play. Be worse, could have Frozzy
um,
on and be like, yeah.
there's one demo company that I've watched, and that is probably one that we're coming up to.
Yeah, so ICW are just they're probably one of the top tier. I'd say they're the ones to go for America. CZW for years were holding on to that torch, but I think ICW, when you think of deathmatch wrestling now, you think of ICW. I don't know why they're as low as they are. I don't know if there was like a quick falls match, because most of their matches are quite R rated. Um, there must just be a few in there that have kind of knocked down the ratings. You can also check out www.ratewrestle.weebly, I think the thing is, I'll put it in the attachment, to actually check out the ratings for yourself, if you really care. I know I care, though.
In case that's right.
Yeah. At number 11, we've got BCCW. So one of the local ones that you mentioned up there. So British Black Country Championship Wrestling. They did say Combat Wrestling. Then that was flipping that the promotion. I saw it Premier Wrestling or Entertainment, which a bastard would have saw with me. So BCCW I started seeing a couple of years ago. I've become more regular with them in the last year. It's a fun show. Drink a lot there as well, which is good for me. So overall, 35 matches, an average rating of 2.77, so it's a bit higher than the ICW and the Rise shows. Last year they were 11th. No, they didn't qualify last year, sorry, because I only saw the one event before the thing. Highest ranking of 11th, though. Top 3 matches, we've got Redacted. Everyone's going to be confused that didn't watch the show, versus Lucas Cashmere at 3.5, not Dr. Redactive. Then we've got Lucas Cashmere versus Luke Douglas at 3.5 at Key to the Kingdom. But my favourite match for BCCW of that year was Lee Hunter versus CJ Rollins, which was 3 3/4. Absolute banger. You saw any BCCW?
I'm going trend here, isn't there?
Yes.
No.
Wonderful.
I
So
want to do that, but
what might have brought down BCCW slightly was there was a cash in on CJ Rollins, which I rate a 1/4 star because it's a short match. So that would bring down tanky scores. There was a few 2.5 matches, which ones that I just weren't fully involved. But probably about 5 out of 6 matches in every show are bangers for me. And we love BCCW here.
absolutely, yeah.
Bastards probably gonna caught shit out about me because they're 11th in the row. Moving on to Beyond at number 10. Back to the Americas. 21 matches, so just about qualified. An average rating of 2.79, so just above BCCW. And the highest ranking of 10th as well, so this is the first year they qualified for this. So Beyond, I've just lost their whole thing. It just disappeared off my screen. That is good. Where has that gone? I'll definitely be editing this out. Where the hell has that just disappeared? It was there and now it's not there. There it is. It's somehow ended up in G on my website suddenly. Wonderful. Let me move that back up because I'll forget that otherwise. Beyond Wrestling. So I saw 3 events from Beyond. One Wrestling Open and then a couple of the mainstream shows. Favourite matches from last year, we had Megan Bain versus Anthony Green, which are rated 3 1/4, from Water Everywhere. Richard Holiday and the Miracle Ones versus Big Business, which are rated 3.25 from Water Everywhere. And my favourite match of last year was Brad Hollister versus Marcus Cashmere, which are rated 3.25 as well. But I didn't update, so actually my favourite match is Josh Alexander versus TJ Crawford, which was at the last show, which I haven't put at the top yet, which is at Beyond Lights Camera Beyond.
Fair enough.
You watching any Beyond this year, DP?
I have actually, yes.
So how do you think they've done?
I've seen all. To be fair, I'm not seen all the shows, so I can't give like a full
Yeah.
an analysis of this. But from what I have seen, they're a very good company and a very good American indie in regards to what they put on and the amount of guys that they have as well that you assume are signed to places that they have on their shows. So it's just great to see them in action on these shows and see that. I think the original one I saw was called what's it called? It was called Kick.
Yeah.
Like IWTV Kick, something like that. And it had like Leo Rush on it against Desmond Cole, Chris Statlander, Aaron Rourke. Like some good matches on these cards. I do mean to watch the latest one they put on IWTV, which I think was the one with Matt Cardona on it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head now, but yeah, overall I think Beyond are a really good company, and I plan to watch more of them.
Yeah, they do put on a great amount of talent. Or Josh Alexander in the main event of the last one I watched. Mike Santana was on there. And then they got a load of upcomers. Marcus Mathers, who's becoming massive now. Brad Hollister, who's great. Ali Catch, who I clearly love. And people like even Kennedy Hardcastle, who's getting a bit of claim from AEW, who's very, very good as well. So yeah, they ranked at number 10. Number 9, we've got Kumite. Have you seen any Kumite, DP?
I have.
You saw it live.
I did.
And you're going to a show without me in June, because
Correct.
I can't get there. But yeah, so Kumite saw 35 matches, average rating of 2.95, so just slight of the 3-star mark. This is the first year they qualified as well, because this is where I kind of started broadening out, watching a lot more indie and getting to more local shows. Top 3 matches of the year, we had Carl Kingsley versus Alton Form, which was 4.25, so that kind of sums up straight away that it's in the 4 straight away. Danny Darko versus Antonio Gonzalez, which was 4.25, and then Big Fucking Joe versus Danny Darko, which was also 4.25 at the May 21st show. Kumite just know how to put on good deathmatch wrestling, as you've seen live now.
Yeah.
And they know how to put on. They put stories in it, which I like. It's not just death matches for the sake of death matches. There actually is stories behind it, like so Big Joe's rise of being like the champion for Asia to then suddenly struggling to beat anyone. The Alton Form versus Cole Kingsley rivalry, which involved Harley Harris, and then Alton going schizo because Carl attacked Harley, having people in like Gary J, which was incredible at that point as well. Up and comers like Jack Bennett, Tomby, who was incredible. Big Joe, as we mentioned, incredible. Having like OGs like Clint Margera. It's just a fun company to be around. And last show was great. And I'm looking forward to watching Beef on IWTV, where you'll be reviewing it live.
Yeah. No, I saw it in person. I saw. I think it was called X.
Yeah.
Or the 10th show. Some great stuff there. I love the meat raffle. I know it's probably not if I can say that, but I love it. I love battle royals and that sort of stuff. So
yeah, you do.
That appealed to me straight away. Obviously you had other things like Tomby and Luke Douglas. That was a great match as well. I did go back and watch things like Demolition as well, which I think was their last show in the new year.
Yeah, it was.
The last, sorry.
One that with Clinton and Danny in the main event.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I like Tomby and Merck. I like Big Joe and Antonio Gonzalez. Like, there's a lot of good matches they put on here, and as you just said, it's not because it's just like deathmatch for the sake of being a deathmatch. It's like everything's intertwined and has a reason to be there, or there's some sort of challenge set up, or some sort of tie on the line, or some sort of stipulation or something. Like, there's not just like you and you. Fight.
Yeah, they make it make sense. Yeah.
I enjoy it, and I think part of me does like deathmatch wrestling, even though I don't watch much of it.
Part of me likes deathmatch wrestling. Okay, so moving into 9, we're gonna number 8, we're gonna step away from deathmatch wrestling. So we've got H2O, the deathmatch company. So, for people that are not aware of H2O, they're ran by deathmatch legend Matt Tremont, which you should be aware of that if you're not. H2O, I watched a few years back, then stopped watching because I didn't really have OWTV, but I kind of got really involved with them again because I just got really into deathmatch wrestling. Their cards are very hit and miss in between, like so they have a lot of earlier few matches where it's H2O is very. It's like a weird blend of deathmatch wrestlers and dojo wrestlers. If you look at Kamikaze,
Okay.
kind of
Yeah,
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 a
yeah.
lot of new people that are to H2O. Top three matches I've got here: Neil Diamond Cutter versus Leroy Robinson, rated 3.5
Yeah.
stars. One called Manders versus Matt Tremont, rated 3 3/4, and then Cage of Hell, which was Bam Sullivan versus Neil Diamond Cutter versus Killdozer versus Jimmy Lyon versus Mouse versus Alex Stretch, which are rated 4 stars. Um, they just know how to put on good shows, and they have long shows as well. So it's kind of like I'm not massively into long shows, so it kind of shows how good they are if I've got them rated so highly.
Yeah.
So I've watched 43 matches of theirs at an average rating of 3.02.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it said H2O over Matrimon. That's probably one of the very things I know about the company. Other than what we did through Initiative,
Yeah,
when we were doing those. Other than that, I did check out someone in the Hustle Cup before.
yeah,
I did as well see their last show. I think it was in April, which is I think was uninvited. I think it was called something like that.
it might have been. Yeah,
Yeah, and then that was alright. I mean, it wasn't a standout show for me particularly, but I did like Killdozer and Anthrax. So
there you go. That's such a
yeah.
weird combo to say out loud. Killdozer and Anthrax. Moving into number 7, I think this is the last deathmatch company on the card. Really, there's one that technically has death matches. Ruthless Pro Wrestling, RPW. For UK fans, they're probably known for DP. So DP likes deathmatch more than women's wrestling anyway. That was from Frozzy. There you go. Live on Twitch, you'll get
Oh.
comments which I won't be deleting. They won't just be about DP, but they will. A lot of them will be. So Ruthless Pro Wrestling, people would be aware of them because of their new champ, Big Lou Nixon. Watched 33 matches of Ruthless Pro, average rating of 3.03, so just above H2O.
Mhm.
Top rated matches, we had Tommy Vendetta versus Malcolm Monroe III, who we've had on the channel, rated
Nice.
3.5. They are a tag team as well, so it was a cool, weird kind of thing to have them fight each other. Doctor is Acted versus Tommy Vendetta at 3.5. At King of the Kill, and then Akira versus Doctor Redacted, 4 stars. Doctor Redacted is incredible. Have you actually got to see him?
I know what he looks like, but I've never seen much of his. No.
Yeah, he's very, very good. He's like Tomby, where you just flick him and he'll just piss his blood.
Fair enough.
Absolutely just comes out of nowhere. Um, they're just good deathmatch wrestling. They have people on like Schwartzy, who we had on the channel as well. Remington Raw, Herzog, who's a weird, weird character. You got up and comers on there as well, like Judge Joe Dredd, Chuck Stein. Then it's just good wrestling. Oaks Kogar appears and stuff. If you just want to see brutal wrestling, RPW's there, and now they're starting a kind of rivalry with Atticus Kogar and the 440 Gold, I think one's called now, and stuff like that. Where what's his face called? What's the Ricky Shane Page? He's running
Oh,
one,
okay.
and Atticus Kogar's running the other. I'm
Right. Yeah.
assuming
Yeah.
you've not watched any Ruthless Bro.
All I know is that one of the titles is defended in Kumite.
Yeah, with Big Lou Nixon. Yep, correct. Number 6, we've got WWE.
Ah, so in company, that's it.
Uh, I've watched 95 WWE pay-per-view matches, average rating of 3.06. They were second last year. No, fifth last year, I do apologise. Second is their highest ever ranking. WWE was decent, but also not decent match quality-wise. Like, their good matches were very good. And then some of the other matches were just like, that's a match.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, just going back to their kind of thing, because I've watched Backlash this year, so I haven't got the main thing straight away. So last year, my top 3 rated matches were probably the Usos versus the Bloodline. That was at Money in the Bank, which rated 4.25 stars. Roman and Solo. Roman versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, I rated 4.5. And then my top rated match Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams, 4.5 stars rated as well. Whoop that Trick.
That is a swerve.
No, he works for AEW.
Oh, of course, sorry, my bad.
But yeah, WWE, they can have hit and misses. So you look at Mania, you have people like Cody and Seth versus Bloodline, which was great, Roman and Rock, and then you have matches like Andrade and Ray versus Dominic and Santos, or the 6-woman tag where they weren't so good, which I think tanks the ratings. The Pride versus the Final Testament. So I'm looking at like the more modern, like last few month ones.
Even like Jay and Jimmy on night one.
Yeah, Jay and Jimmy rate 3 stars. I found it was average. Well, people hated it. I didn't
Oh,
mind
okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure me and Frost rated it like 1 star, something like that.
Yeah, it's because you're racist. And then Night of Champions. No,
What?
there's no reasoning behind that. And then like Night of Champions, for example, Rhea Ripley went like ripped through Natalia in a 1-star classic because she just beat the crap out of her. So it's always going to tank the ratings. But
Yeah.
any thoughts on WWE this year?
No, like the other ones. I don't watch the WWE, so I don't really have any opinion on them. No. I think I just pay-per-views are more gonna be up there because
Yeah.
the weekly shows which aren't part of this are where they suffer. And that's a thing for both them and the other main company. Like it's just week shows are half in the book for some reason, and it's just I find it hard to watch Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm
And
not into W. I'll always watch the pay-per-views, but I'm not really catching weekly TV anymore because I just don't wanna.
yeah, like other than like King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring stuff, right now
Mm.
there's not much on there to watch.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
just it gives me chance because I used to suffer obviously with the podcast. I'd be watching Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision.
mhm.
And then if I wanted to watch NXT and there'd be flipping Impact, I'd never get a chance to watch any indie show at all. Thank
Yeah,
you
no,
for the follow, Grace underscore VTuber 010.
thank
Um,
you.
but yeah, so then it wasn't a bad year for WWE. It was just quality of matches probably wasn't the best it's been.
Mhm.
Number 5, and coming back to the rankings, fully GCW qualified for
Ah,
me. Used to love GCW a couple of years back, a few years back, probably before COVID. Then I didn't care as much, and then I just, it's very much I'll watch a show if I've heard something's good about it. I won't go out my way to
yeah.
kind of watch them. To be fair, one of the shows was a TNT version of GCW, which probably helped. So
Yeah.
GCW watched 24 matches, 3.10 rating. They were 10th last year, and their highest ever ranking was 5th. My favourite matches from last year, because you watch a lot of GCW.
Mhm.
Gringo Loco versus Arez versus Latigo at GCW in Liverpool.
Nice.
Have I updated this before I say these out loud, actually? I'm just going to make sure because 3.5, 3.5. Okay, technically they are. Let me just make sure. Yep, technically they are. Blake Christian versus Leon Slater, 3 3/4 at GCW in Liverpool.
Okay.
And then Big Joe and Clint Margera versus Los McCullers,
Uh-huh.
4 1/4 stars at GCW in Liverpool. That show
Of
was a
course.
banging show.
It was. To be fair, it was.
But the other shows I did watch were Nick Gage's Invitational, and Effie's Big Gay Brunch, which I don't know what number it was. It was Dirty Breeze versus Boosie, so that was pretty WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
And Dark Sheet versus Sonny Kiss was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, GCW, it's very, as I said, it's very hit and miss for me. But like they've had some bang. The shows I've seen because I only watch the ones where I've been told to watch them. Or I've looked them. I've obviously
Yeah.
rated highly. Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the benefit as well because they do so many shows compared to like other American indies, where it's like maybe once or twice a month.
Hmm.
Like GW will do something like 3 or 4 a month.
Yeah, which
So
I'm
you
not about.
can,
Yeah.
yeah, so you can sort of like cherry pick the ones you want to go for
Hmm.
because it's Fight TV. You're not paying $20 for each one. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, but like they do a lot of good shows, and it's just I think it's the same issue that all companies have, where it's just they have some matches that don't hit as well as others. It's like most recently they've had the rivalry between like Ma.Ce and Ma.Ce going crazy.
Hmm.
So much so that the pardon me, that his group has essentially like kind of turned their backs on him because he's like gone schizo crazy, like he's gone ridiculous, and he's like
Yeah.
he's tried to like burn Eddie Catch alive. He's tried to cut Effie's hair. He's tried.
How dare you!
But no, it's been a great rivalry they've been doing. But outside of that, that's probably the main story that they got going on at the moment. Other than that, we've got Joey Janela as well doing his. I'm Joey Janela and I'm here. Fight me.
That's a great that's great description of Joey Janela's gimmick.
Just look at his matches in GCW, like the most recent events. It's the most random set of opponents.
Because he's Joey Janela, he just fights people who he wants to fight. Now he's fought everyone, he can do what he wants.
Yeah, that's fair.
Does what
But
he
you know,
wants.
GCW is absolutely one of the great companies in America right now, and they're doing everything right now. And again, some like, and they even get imports in. Imports, I mean, like like signed
Yeah, I know what you
again
mean, yeah.
stars. That, but yeah, just keep it up.
That's DP's inspiration for you. Keep it up, GCW. We're in the top 4 now. At number 4, we got Kamikaze Pro Live. Well, Pro live because most of the time I see it is the live shows. 81 matches I saw last year. 3.11 rated. They were 9th last year. This is their highest ranking for me. So you've only saw a couple of Kamikaze shows that I've shown you via like the hardcam stuff when we've been reviewing.
Yeah.
Top 3 matches of the year, we had Robbie X versus Nate Riley at Sky's the Limit 9, which were rated 4.25. We had George Lydon versus Edgar Adams at Live 37, which are rated 4.25 as well. And then we had George Lydon versus Jordan Oliver, 4.25 over the top, which was just stupidly good. So Kamikaze is been pretty much, they are getting to the main shows now, but a lot of it is still a lot of live shows every month. But their main shows have been hitting, like the 10th anniversary. They had like Man Like the Reese versus MBK, which was incredible. Chantel versus George Lydon, which was incredible in that show. Bank on it. They had Robbie X versus Edgar, which was 4 stars. So it's been very good, and their new crop of talent, people like Edgar, Nate Riley, Zach Walker, people like Ronnie G as well, have been really carrying the shows. And then the underdogs of the shows, which sound mental, are people like Alex Connors and Luke Douglas. People that have just like the veterans of the show, which I think like they don't get as much credit for the matches they put on, because they're the people that Kamikaze trusts to fight the newer people. The people like your Blake Violets, Coach Mahan. I can't think of anyone else that's debuted recently. It's gone to Alex Dean. I think he didn't. Oh no, he did just about qualify for this year, Alex Dean. So they're like the unsung heroes. They're bringing the people across to make them look good. But like show wise, they put even on the live shows, like probably about 4 out of 7 matches are very good, and then there's not like a real bad match on any shows for Kamikaze. They know what they're doing to kind of put on a good show.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Yeah, like as you said, I've not seen much Kamikaze, but I'm very familiar with them, what they do, because I watched the reviews and previews that you do. So I think I agree with your assessment. But obviously I'm surprised that you left out the true main match.
Which one are we? We're not on about the mystery battle royale, are we?
No.
Okay,
Man
that's
Up to Reese and Man Up to Reese taking on for the Svelts.
that was this year. That was literally this. It's not. I can't speak about it, DP, because it was after the flipping ratings. Don't try and chop me out, and I won't remember it by next year because I didn't watch it.
But no, you are right, absolutely. Like they do a lot of good stuff. The battle royals, from what I recall, aren't that great. But
Roulette Rumble's good. You got to witness a mystery battle royale, which is the worst thing in the world. And then they had a second mystery battle royale, which was the second worst thing in the world. As Alex Connors will state for it, they're just they're trying something new, but it's just weird.
But yeah, it's exactly the same. Like they got a good cock of talent there. You've got like you said George Lydon, you got Chantal Jordan, you got other winner like Edgar Adams, Nate Riley. You got, like you said, like the veterans in there as well, like Pardon me, like Alex Connors and Douglas, like they're both in there as well. They're both in there while both helping elevate the show
Yeah.
with the new talent, exactly as you said.
And Kamikaze are also bringing in imports once again, which they struggled for a while due to COVID and stuff. Like, just look at the last main show. You had Seiki Shika, first ever time that Zero G1 title was defended outside of Japan
Hmm.
on a Kamikaze show. You had Macha Chica Jr. on the show as well. Harley Hudson made a debut just before she got into Impact. They got CPF fighting on a live show coming up randomly. So yeah, Kamikaze are making moves, and that's why they were fourth. So we're getting
Hmm.
into top three territory, DP, which is normally where I ask you what you think your my top three will be. I will give you a hint straight away. Stardom didn't qualify. I only watched below 20 matches this year, which was mental.
Hmm.
Cause I just did
Uh,
nothing attracted me, nothing like engagement ratings or anything. Didn't go, I want that.
hmm. So I think AEW has to be in there because it's pay-per-views, and while Dynamite might be, what it is right now, I think the main show, the pay-per-view shows do very well. Like
Yeah,
the matches, because they're matches and just for the sake of being matches, they do get highly rated because they're rating it on the match, not necessarily
yeah, yeah.
on the story. Um,
Sometimes. Roman
yeah,
versus Cody was 90% story. That's why it was
yeah,
rated highly. It depends. A banger for a match has to be a banger for me to rate it highly. Whereas a story can drag a match for me.
yeah, that's fair. But I think AEW has to be on there. I don't know if you would have seen enough Ring of Honor. But also I don't know if you're counting that separately this year
It
from
still
AEW.
will be separate because it's branded separately, so I'm still casting it as separate. Yeah.
Okay, fine, yeah. So AEW Ring of Honor and another one. I don't
Another
know who
one.
that one could be. That one could be somewhere, maybe somewhere in Japan because we've not had somewhere in Japan just yet. So, the question is though, what have you watched? And I don't know what you've watched because I don't think you'll rate TJPW that highly.
Mm.
And there's other ones out there like Sendai Girls and
You
She
just gotta
Lightning, but
remember,
I don't.
it's not even rated highly. It's also if I've watched enough of them.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, is there enough that you've seen that's been made available to watch for you? And I don't think there is. So maybe I'm looking at like Purus and Noah. So yeah, I'm going Noah because I think they've had it for mainstream shows as well that I think you've probably seen.
Wonderful. Number three, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
If you think of them.
Yeah, that's right. I just do one. 61 matches, 3.18 rating. I'll be honest. I must have loved New Japan matches, but I can't tell you I can't remember a single thing that happened in New Japan in the last year. Let me go. Let me go view the ratings. They've had some yeah, they have 5-star bangers though, don't they? New Japan. That's the
Yeah.
they can be dragged up by very good matches. Top three
Hmm.
matches are all 5-star rated, so that probably sums it up.
Yeah.
At number three, we got the United Empire versus Bullet Club War Dogs in that absolutely fantastic cage match. Oh
Yeah.
fuck, I love that so much
That was so good.
because it shouldn't have had the right to be that good.
Nope.
Oh
It was booked like a shit show. It was a shit show, but in the best way possible.
yeah. To be fair, just so people know as well, this isn't any in order of any particular 5-star matches. So the top 5-star match would probably be the first one I've watched that year. Second, we got Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. at New Beginnings in Osaka. That was a
I agree.
very good match.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And then number one, as I said, this isn't like a ranking. It's just this was the first 5-star match New Japan had for me last year. Will Ospreay versus Naito, a G1 Climax, day 18. Naito!
Okay.
You hate Naito.
Yeah, I mean, as years ago, I was a fan of Naito's. So much so I still got his shirt somewhere. Uh, but yeah, just over the years, I got bored of his style and got bored of him in general. Um,
Can't get
he's
bored
all
of him,
right.
though.
He's all right, but for me, he's like same character as Tanahashi. It's like just probably shouldn't be as high as he is right now.
Yeah. Um, Good thing about this year's as well. Normally, New Japan struggle rating wise for me overall because their tag matches at the start of the match just kill off any kind of rating because they're not very good. But yeah,
Mhm.
so many 5-star matches and matches like Moxley Finlay versus Ospreay was a banger. Danielson versus
Yeah,
Okada. Sonata versus Naito was decent. I rated that highly. Naito versus Okada was good. Titan versus Master Wato, which is a really random match to have on here. Best of the Super Juniors.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, just killed it. New Japan, really, really good. And if you kind of like, I used to struggle because I used to watch so much New Japan, and then I didn't watch like the whole of G1 Climax. This year, for example, you probably like probably about 5 or 6 matches were very good, and then the rest were
yeah,
there were matches. Whereas if
yep,
I would have watched it a few years ago, I would have watched them all, and that would have
yeah,
been a downfall of it.
absolutely.
Number two, we've got AEW.
There they are. Yep.
AEW wrestling. All elite for some people. So 84 matches I watched, 3.26 rating. Did I mention how New Japan I did, didn't you? I mentioned how many matches, 61. Yeah, I remember saying it.
Yeah,
Last year, AEW were third. This year this year the second highest ranking of first. Top three matches: Bryan
mhm,
Danielson versus Will Ospreay, which was a dynasty. Doesn't count towards the actual ranking thing because it wasn't actually a pay-per-view. It's just one of my favourite matches, so I wanted to mention it. Bryan
yep.
Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. a Wrestle Dream, and
I
Kenny
agree.
Omega versus Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door, which was the first 5-star match that he had, according to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not really watching much Dynamite, but this is not what it's based upon. As said, you said they just have quality matches.
Yeah.
Like story wise, they struggle a lot. Like it's getting better on the odd occasion, then it's not again. Matches like Swerve versus Adam Page were great as well. That rivalry was very good. Um, it's just overall AEW quality of wrestling's probably slightly on more on par than WWE. WWE's vastly superior in story wise. That's why they get the ratings they are. But quality of matches, AEW's pretty much second to none, except obviously for the one that are above them this year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm assuming I know who you got first now, but yeah, I agree. I think WWE have the edge in story, but I think match wise they're not as good because AW just have that. I don't know. There's something about them. It's like the indie feeling
Yeah.
on a mainstream show,
Yeah, it's also
which
I
is
feel like I want them to succeed so much still. Like it's not like I crap on AEW, but I do want them to succeed so much because I don't want a place where
Mhm.
there's not a rivalry, even though it technically isn't a rivalry.
Yeah. Like, I want to get to the point where WWE feel threatened by them.
Yeah,
And then that forces Hunter and whoever to be like, actually, no, these guys are a threat. We got to up what we're doing. Like,
and it's just the trouble that people are leaving AEW for WWE now because they realise that I'm probably better off. Like Ricky Starks is definitely going WWE at some point, isn't he?
yeah,
Wardlow probably will get pushed a lot better in WWE.
fine.
And just get away from the Jericho zone.
Yeah.
So who are we
You
saying is
mean the
number one?
learning tree?
Fuck's
Sorry.
sake. Who's number one then, DP?
I'm assuming Ring of Honor.
You are wrong.
Of Honor.
Wrong of Honor,
Don't know.
yeah. Ring of Honor didn't qualify. I barely watched any of it this year.
Oh, fair enough.
Any other guesses?
I mean, I'll go back to what I said before. Professor Noah.
You are wrong. It is
Oh,
All Japan Pro Wrestling.
okay, I was close.
I watched exactly 20 matches, so they just qualified. But they had a 3.4 rating, so very highly rated. This is obviously their highest ranking, because you can't get higher than one.
Yeah.
So it is technically a cheat, but this is how ratings work. Altogether, again, was a pay-per-view with 3 fucking companies, so that did help their ratings slightly. But they also had Mania X, which was good.
Yeah.
Top 3 matches: Atsuki Aogi and Rising Ayata versus Toi Kojima and Yuki Ueno, 3.5 stars. Nakajima versus Miyahara, 4.25 stars. Oh,
Valid. Yeah.
Nakajima. And then my favourite match was Tanahashi, Kiyomiya, and Miyahara versus Okada, Kano, and Aoyagi at Altogether again. Um, All Japan, they put on a good show with the other two, but their main X show was very good.
Yeah.
Matches like Al Lindemann versus Tamura, Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Omori and Suzuki versus Suzuki, Sato and Suwama, Jun Saito versus Ray Saito, very good. And it came as a surprise to me when I added it all up. Yeah, All Japan are my company of the year. Never thought that would be a thing.
It makes sense. I mean, look at some of the people who you really enjoy in wrestling history and where
Yeah.
they came from and what company they wrestled for.
Yeah, well, we're doing a watch along, just to kind of pipe out the watch along for the YouTube. We're doing a watch along live on Twitch straight afterwards. We're going to try and attempt to do these ish around
Mhm.
everything. We're going to be watching Go Shiozaki and Kenta Kobashi versus Katsuhiko Nakajima and Kazuki Sasaki. What a
Sounds
match!
amazing.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Well, you're going to be seeing it now. But yeah, assuming you didn't get to see much All Japan, probably except for that triple show.
That's probably the only thing I have seen of All Japan, but I am very familiar with their work. I've seen a few matches on like YouTube and like YouTube clips and stuff like that. They, from what I can tell, are a very good company and they put on amazing matches. It's a great environment. It's great like production value they have as well. Like
It's a great environment.
it's a great environment. Ding, great. But
That's
no,
why I
honestly,
rated them highly. Their work in background.
But yeah, no, like I think right now it's like the Champion Carnival thing, which is like
Yeah.
their tournament, which is I think they've just finished it actually. So I want to watch that final because I know who's in the final and it sounds amazing.
Who is in the final?
Okay, the spoiler alert. It's Kenta Miyahara and Hun Saito.
Yes, that does sound good. That spoiler alert was so quick, by the way. By the time you said spoiler, you're already listening and going. But yeah, so company of the year is in the books. So All Japan Pro Wrestling is my top company of this year.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. Damn fuckers.
We will check out next year. I've watched 3 events so far, so it can either be WWE, Rise Wrestling, or Kamikaze Pro this year so far. I don't know who the front runner is. But as usual, like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitch where we're doing these videos live, just to kind of adapt to our Twitch. We did a fun quiz recently where I don't know if this video will be out before it or after it, so I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but it was a very fun quiz in general. We've got more reviews. DP's our last review will probably be out before I get this out because it's already uploaded. WrestleCam Connect hopefully will exist. We're trying to figure out that. Wrestle Showdown's coming to an end. I mean, DP, it's 10-8 to me still, but DP's slowly cheating his way back. Okay, DP's by circumstances totally cheating his way back.
Not cheating.
He's not intentionally cheating, but he's winning because it's against me.
Okay, I can't get that one.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, as like just like and subscribe. Is there anything else you want to bring up, DP, before I end this video? But we're still going to be on Twitch.
Yeah, other than that, other than what you said, I've got obviously it'll be out before then, but Purpose Wrestling, their review's going out as of day we're doing this tomorrow. So it'll be out already, as you said. Other than that, Show Squared, we're doing NXT, potentially doing more stuff as well with Mr. Impact Craig. Potentially might do some Impact reviews of him, but we'll see how that goes.
Mr. Impact doing Impact reviews.
Yeah.
And then one final note before we go. Congratulations to Frozzy for passing his driving test and becoming my new chauffeur. Yeah, I'm going to be sitting in the back like this every time. Yeah, we're going to go everywhere. Until he gets sick of this podcast and the mileage he's doing and his car breaking down. But he gets free breakdown cover because I'm in the car. Remember that, Frozzy.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm in the car, it's free breakdown cover. But yeah, that's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.